So sometimes things just don't go the way we want. And for some reason, StreamYard is not letting me play. I know it wants to be fed money again, however, that's not the problem. So I've decided to, unfortunately, do this on my phone. It's not the way I wanted to do it, but I think I can do it like this. The only thing is I have to hold it. I wish I could figure out a different way. Hi Karen, how are you today? Thanks for joining. I've gone through 15 minutes of absolute getting nowhere with this. I'm just so glad I'm patient these days. Um, I'm trying to think. I need to hold my phone up and be able to record this like this. Okay, maybe it's just going to take me having to hold it, isn't it? We'll see how we go. Hi, everybody. Ed. So we're talking about joining Discord. I can't work Discord out, mate. Honestly, I've tried. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't work a lot of stuff out. Okay, I must be just too old. 60s model. Oh, it's just a little bit... I'm drinking the most beautiful coconut water. Actually, I'll get some more before we start. Come with. Children aren't here today. I miss them. Okay, my beautiful coconut water. As you can see, we eat very healthy. Beautiful. Yes, this is my fridge. Have a look into my life. Anchovies. Yes, pesto. I make my own pesto. That's not bought pesto. And I had sardines for breakfast. And I was on one of my vegan friends' Facebook channels, and he was having a fight. He's from Mullumbimby, down northern New South Wales. He's a hippie. And he was having a fight with this person that was saying, oh, what did Jesus eat, mate? Jesus ate fish and all that. And I know this guy, and I don't know what he thinks I eat or whatever, but because I only met him once, but we had a really good talk. And I wrote, hey, hey, Robbie, I still eat sardines. Is that okay? So, because it's my choice now not to eat meat. I'm not a vegan. I'm not a pusher of anything like that. I don't push any such food laws and ridiculism like that. That's just not on. Uh-oh. That's what happens when you 60s model. Yeah, no, they definitely don't make the cars like they used to either, do they? My Monaro, like the cars I have, they only last 10 years, and in the day they lasted forever because they're still lasting. Okay, let's just wipe this up, shall we, before we get going? I'm glad we're all friends here and it's not some sort of, wacky television show that I have to, I have to be absolutely spot on with everything I'm doing and saying, but we're going to have some fun. The problem with this is I really wanted to be able to sit here and read and show you stuff without having to hold a phone. So I was trying to do it the opposite way, come through, the computer and be able to show you the stuff on my phone. Maybe if I could just work out how to keep my phone up, this will work out fine because I can actually show you. I just got to get it to balance, but I've got nothing. Well, I must have. Come on, think. Think, girl, think. Here, try this. We've got to try to get... Oh. This could be the winner. This could be the winner. It's going to do for now. No, I can move the computer. I can get that better. Bear with me, guys. I usually StreamYard, so this is really frustrating because I'm live on my camera. Hey, Joseph. Oh, man, how are you? I'm here until the State of the Union address by Biden. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, let us know how that goes, please. That'll be fun, fun, fun. till your daddy takes the T-bird away. What? Hang on. Maybe if I shut it, because I don't need to see it. I need to see it on the computer. Gee. I'm sorry, guys. I've never had to do it this way before. And there lies my problem. Alright. I'm just going to go this. Unfortunately, the information I had is actually on my phone. And now it makes it difficult to see live chat. So please don't think I'm ignoring anybody. The problem also with this is too, I can't really invite anybody in. Maybe I'm just defeating the whole purpose here. Or maybe I should just show you what I was reading before. Okay? Because I want to blow the lid off a few myths. It's time. Who's using Chrome? Well, I am, but I'm not Beck From Oz too, but that shouldn't worry it. Now, what did I type in? See, I had all the information on my phone. Oh, I don't want to knock the phone over. Yeah, but it wasn't. No, I don't want that one. I know what it was called, the beachcomber or something. Sorry, I'm trying to think while I'm typing. Yeah, that'll do. That should do it. Search. Go. Why doesn't it go? What have I done wrong? I hate this computer. I'm sorry to use the word hate, but I really have always had trouble with this thing. And so has somebody else who uses it, so I'm not the only one. Just gonna make sure I'm doing it. That's so small. That is so small for me to see. I must be getting blinder and blinder. I've got to stop reading stuff. And then go. What is happening to me today? Every single thing I try technology is failing, but every single thing I've done physically has actually excelled. Okay, maybe we shouldn't be online today. Maybe I should be out doing what I was doing this morning, which was finding artifacts, finding old, Let's just go on your account and see what happens. Why won't it search? There's my search, yeah, okay. Let's try it like this. I've never had to do this before. If I don't hardly see my son anymore, so this is why I can't do anything, because he's just never around. Yeah, I don't think I can do this. What a bummer. I can't even get in to the computer to show you guys what I want to show you. It won't even search. Let's go. This is how... Oh, this is a smack computer. It's like so old. It's a Dell. It's an Core 15, Windows 7. Okay, so please have a bit of pity for me, just because I feel like I've wasted all your time here. Just give me a minute. I can come good somehow. I'm trying to think. I'm not a complete dummy. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Let's try her account. It just won't search. Let's just go anything. Yeah, you'll do that. Well, why won't you go? I used to live there. WOLLOOMOOLLO. And I used to have to know how to spell it. I used to live there. Woolloomooloo. So, okay, that worked. Now maybe all's not lost, hey? I just think I'm being really toyed with in a lot of areas in my life at the moment. And I'm really not sort of given into it, but it keeps doing it. It's just testing me. It's just everything's testing my patience. Now, I got to find that channel. It's blue. Beachcombers. It was really, he had just the exact little part I wanted to read. That's the thing, because the War of the Jews is, I think it's 7 books, and there are so many chapters in those books. But I actually found an excerpt of what I wanted, and it's on my phone, but because I'm live streaming, I didn't even think to sort of grab the name. Well, it was Bloom Beachcombers, and it's not here. I think I'll put in 70 AD, and it might bring up. Oh, no. No, I went out of Josephus. All right. Back. See, it could take me a million years finding the part. Yeah. Yeah. You see, this is, wow. 7 books. The Siege of Jerusalem. Let's see if we could just... I do know how the story goes a little bit. I might be able to find my way. But this is pretty important to know what this is saying, because it blows the lid off a few things. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't. Is any of you still here? I'm going to open it up and have a look. Hi, Andy. I can see Lacey. Hi, Lacey, Andy. You're the only 2 ones I can see there. I am trying to find, guys, if you've just jumped in, this has all gone wrong for me. I cannot live stream how I usually do on StreamYard for, honestly, things unbeknown to me. And then I've tried to do it this way. And now, because I can't remember where I found the information I wanted, I'm having a lot of trouble finding the passage in Josephus about, well, I haven't really started to look. You're just going to have to give me a minute, and I'm going to have to get a bit more serious about my research here. Now, I think it... You know, from what I've read so far, and I've read a lot of Josephus this morning, and about Josephus himself, which that story in itself is incredible. And, you know, they only had everything to lose by Josephus actually recording these things, and I think that's why the Jews, they hate these books. They hate them. It shows that the Romans were so tolerable. Now, Josephus was a Jew, so he was telling a true story. You can see that he wasn't lying about this. He was on both sides in a way. That's how it ended up in the end, and I had just such a laugh when I heard the whole of his life story. It is incredible. And there were parts of it that really had me laughing, to be honest with you. The irony about, the irony of this man and what he did to get to how he was. But he did account what happened. Hang on a minute. More coconut water. Titus really tried to tell them, listen, walk away from it. Now, the thing is, Vespasian. See, Vespasian was Titus's father. So the thing is, they really tried to get them to surrender. Josephus had already been captured by the Romans, and he was captured at Galilee. And they tried to get Josephus to cut a deal. And, you know, they didn't want that. The Jews didn't want Josephus cutting no deal. Josephus was sent as a traitor very badly. And it was because, and this is what nobody understands, and if I can find it, I can blow the lid off this whole Nero business. This is what you guys need to know. The Caesar, the Nero business. This is, Nero committed suicide in 68 AD. And so, It wasn't Nero that the temple was taken from. It was John of Gischala. And we can prove this in this script. And this is why this man, I believe, is not talked about anywhere else in history. He is on Wikipedia, which astounded me, but it's very short. Very short. Nothing here to see sort of thing. John of Gischala did worse stuff than anybody else, guys. Right? Flaves has succeeded him. I've got to see where the story's at. I'm really lost in the story, and if I knew where I was on, it's such long volumes, I'm not sure where the fall is. Titus, upon news of him concerning his father, Germans, this is after. Let me see if I can find it another way. Bear with me, because if I can show you about John of Gischala, you're going to go, this changes everything. And it also supports everything that we've been learning about this. Let's call it the new old theory, which was never a theory. Okay. Now, we're going to put in, because I hit it with algorithms, and I am pretty good with this sort of stuff. And you can get a text that will actually lead you straight to that thing. But you've got to be, a little bit patient. No, Siege of Jerusalem, but I want it in Josephus. Is it book 5? Thank you. Oh, University of Chicago. Oh, okay. Book 6, now containing the interval about 1 month of a great extremity to which the Jews were reduced, to the taking of Jerusalem by Titus. The miseries still grew worse, and how the Romans made an assault upon the tower of Antonia. Thus the miseries of Jerusalem grew worse and worse every day, and the studious were still more irritated by the calamities they were under, even while the famine preyed upon them, after it had preyed upon the people. And indeed the multitude of carcasses that lay in heaps one upon another was an horrible sight, and produced a pestilent stench, which was an hindrance to those that would make sallies out of the city and fight the enemy. But as those were to go in battle array, who had already used to 10,000 murders, and must tread upon those dead bodies as they marched along, so were not they terrified, nor they pity men as they marched over them, nor did they deem this affront offended to these deceased to be any ill omen to themselves. But as they had their right hands already polluted with the murders of their own countrymen, and in that, this is the Jews, this is not the Romans, guys, and in that condition ran out to fight with foreigners, they seem to have cast a reproach upon God himself, as if he were too slow in punishing them, for the war was not now gone on with, as if they had any hope of victory. For they glorified after a brutish manner in that despair of deliverance they were already in. And now the Romans, although they were greatly distressed in getting together their materials, raised their banks in 21 days, after they had cut down all the trees that were in the country that were adjoined to the city, and that for 90 furlongs long about, as I have already related. And truly the very view itself of the country was a melancholy thing, for those places which were before adored with trees and pleasant gardens now become a desolate country every way, and its trees were all cut down. Nor could any foreigner that had formerly seen Judea and the most beautiful suburbs of the city now saw it as a desert, but lament and mourn, and sadly at so great a change. For the war had laid all the signs of beauty quite waste, nor if any one that had known the place before had come on it sudden now would have known it again. But though he were at the city itself, yet he have inquired for it notwithstanding. Now I'm just going to here. But now John and his party took care of for securing themselves afterwards, and even in this case, this wall should be torn down. So I'll just tell you, there was a wall inside a wall. So they were very tricky. They built a wall that on the inside of the wall that was already there. John Gilasha built a wall inside of the wall. And when the Romans got over the first wall, they realised there was a second wall. And a young Syrian boy, good on him, he's got my blood, was the only one to have the courage that said, I'll do it. And he scoured up this wall, the second wall, and he got through and he broke their ranks. He did get killed in the meantime, but he was real, Sardius, and he was very revered. But he was a very small little Syrian boy. Very funny, that part of the story, I thought. But now what's happened is John of Gishala and his crew, because this is where John is, he is mentioned earlier in in these volumes, but this is where the rubber meets the road, because this shows you who had control of Jerusalem in the fall, okay? This is it. So there were two walls. John of Gishala and his crew built a wall inside of the pre-existing wall. So we'll continue. But now John and his party took care for securing themselves afterward. Excuse me, I'll just have a drink. Even in this case, this wall should be thrown down, and fell to their work before the battering rams were brought against them. Yet they did not compass what they had endeavoured to do, but as they were gone out with their torches, they came back and went about, though they do not at first succeed in it. But they now went out on a more languid manner than usual, and at the same time found the Romans set in array, and more courageous than ordinary, that they guarded their banks both with their bodies and their entire armour, and this to such a degree on all sides that they left no room for the fire to get among them, and that every one of their souls was in such good courage that they would sooner die than desert their ranks, for beside their nation that all their hopes were cut off. In case of their works were once burnt, the soldiers were greatly ashamed that subtlety should quite be too hard for courage. I'm just going to skip that. That's a bit irrelevant. Sorry. Just so it told you that John had built the wall. It is a very long story, and for some reason Josephus is just so very particular about how he wrote, which when you've got the time is very good. You want it to be that way. However, that night the wall was so shaken by the battering rams in that place where John had used his stratagram before, and had undermined their banks in that new way, and the wall fell down suddenly. When this accident had unexpectedly happened, the minds of both parties were variously affected, for though one would expect that the Jews would be discouraged because of this fall of their wall was unexpected to them, and they had made no provision in that case, yet they pull up their courage because the Tower of Antonia itself was still standing. So, yeah, they got that wall down, and that was that little mate that got in there. This was Titus following, with this charge, remember? Now, what ends up happening, and it could take me very many pages, but this is the whole aim of this little live stream I'm doing. I'm going to keep it short, is to say that John of Galatia was the one who was in the temple. They ended up driving him out, they captured them in a really a quite. They tried to really pacify them. They tried to get them out with any bloodshed. They even said, "Look, we don't want to kill. Bring your temple down." They said that we know. They knew, the Romans knew themselves that it was judgment of God, and the Romans were being used. They said it themselves in these passages. Now, and they knew they would get victory because of the behaviour of John of Gilshala. He had persuaded all of these rabbis to follow him, all the head ones, and he was the most wicked man that ever ruled. Ever. He was worse than Nero. And this is why it's not spoken of. But there are other texts, not only Josephus, there's Tacitus as well, that is a different take on it. It's not a different take, it's just the same thing, but a different person portraying. It's like you and me telling a story about the same thing. Or it's the same story, but we'll describe it differently. And the thing is, we've got a problem here. There's the little soldier, Serbius. He was a little... Here, upon this speech of Titus, who had just told the men, if anybody can get over the wall, he will, that's great courage, you'll be rewarded, you'll have everything, you'll be greatly rewarded. And so it says, upon this speech of Titus, the rest of the multitude were affrighted at such greater danger, because they knew to go over this wall was certain death, to get into John of Gishala. But there was one whose name among them was Sabinius, a soldier that served among the cohorts, and a Syrian by birth, who appeared to be of very great fortitude, both in the actions he had done and the courage of his soul he had shown, although anybody would have thought, before he came to his work, that he was of such a weak constitution of body that he was not fit to be a soldier, for his colour was black, his flesh was lean and thin, and lay close together. But there was a certain heroic soul that dwelt in that small body, which body was indeed much too narrow for that peculiar courage which was in him. Anyway, so it goes on that he goes and does it, and he does die. That little Syrian soldier who gets one little passage in history. Kind of sad, isn't it? Let me have a look at the chat. Oh, hey, mate. Oh, look, I couldn't get it going. StreamYard won't work, sister. I need to speak to my son. Yeah, so I did it like this. Ed, whom was that second author? Tacitus. Tictus. Tacitus. I might be saying it wrong. Oh, Tacitus. Tacitus. Yeah. So what we're dealing with here is, so as the story goes, I'm going to just keep going a little bit. Yeah, Jenny. Thanks, 8675309, girl. I love you. You're going to have to sort it out because something's really wrong on my end, sis. And we were going to do this together, and we were going to have you guys, be able to chime in. And this is how exactly I was going to start the live stream anyway. But the only part that we're missing is that we're not all communicating. Okay, I'm just having a drink of my water. Hang on. So what I'm getting at is, they got over the wall, they got in there. John and these Pharisees and these rabbis that he had absolutely deluded to follow him, they all ran away. They all ran into the rocks. And guess what? Here, but still John. Oh, this is the big letter. Oh, there's a huge letter. I read this. Oh, it's just incredible. Titus, Vesifius, which is Titus's father, sends a letter to John, and this is the letter. But still, John, it is never dishonourable to repent and to amend what hath been done amiss. See, they knew what he was, just the most brutal. There were dead bodies piled in the temple. That was why it was an abomination. It was worse than anything, pigs or that in there. That was really bad, guys. And then so Titus was pleading to them through his father, give up, stop this, save yourself, save your temple. So everyone that says the Romans were so bad, we need to go back and look at this stuff, because the Jews don't like these records. And I'm surprised they even exist, and it is only by the grace of the Father in heaven they exist. And even Josephus himself was a very troubled man on both sides. I could tell you the story, but we'll just leave that for now, because I want to get to this. This, John, is an excellent example of such a time of danger. See, this is still the letter. Wow. He sends John this massive letter saying, back off, buddy. It's not going to work. Mate, you are going to go down. But what's going to happen is your temple is going to go down. It wasn't until they broke banks and they got in there and they really made a move, which is what I'm trying to find. This is what you've got to understand. There is so much information in this stuff, and it's better to just, I reckon, leave the internet alone and start reading our way through history again, trying to figure out history. Now we know it's different, of course. So now the Titus gave orders to set fire to the gates. Yeah, this is right. And they were even saying it grieved them to do this. The Romans were grieved to do this. So what version of this story did you hear? That, oh, the poor Jews, they were the ones that were attacked, right? No, that is not what happened. It is the opposite. And it also wasn't Nero, because Nero was already dead in 68 AD from suicide. Now I'm trying to find the part where John takes these absolute wimpy rabbis and Pharisees into the mountain. Vespasian, he was a good leader, and Titus, his son, really tried. I don't know how Titus ended up as a man, but Titus was a young lad when he went in and did this. He was only in his 20s, early 30 or something, early 30s. See, so Titus charged his soldiers to restrain their rage and to let their darts alone, and appointed an interpreter between them. All I have read is how much they tried to stop this ridiculous thing happening. All they wanted was to stop them sacrificing people and having bodies piled up in the temple. This is the truth, guys. This is what the churches don't want you to know, isn't it? Yeah, because what's the Bible even we've got? Who gave us our Bible, and why is it accepted? And I'm not saying don't believe the Bible. You know that. You know that there are parts in there they can never touch. But it's just so funny how they so readily accept it, because a lot of it is not what it originally was, and we can tell by these texts, because the history as I learned it was not this. And you never heard of John of Gishala. Never. So this has all been beautifully fabricated by them, what they wanted, and this has been hidden for millennia. Yeah, probably a millennia. We don't even know how long 1,000 years is, if you really want to go deep into that translation stuff. And I don't, because I could get lost in it, because my mind can go there, and I think I could really go deep, but I think there's other things that'd be better spent on. But in saying that, I know 1,000, how it was first written in Hebrew, did not equate to 1,000 years. And so this is where we have to even, how long was Jesus' rule on the earth when he came and he did that, and he was here physically, I believe. Let's say it didn't have to be that 1,000 years, because that translated to us is a wrong translation. Absolutely it is. And that means that they like that because they want us hanging on these times that they've fabricated to, in the English language, 1,000 interpretation means 1,000 years, whereas in the Hebrew it didn't. We have to be careful. And so at the end of the day, yes, we know just to stay close to Father. Absolutely, that's all this is about. But this is one of the most amazing things to be learning, that we know that the lies has just been horrid, absolutely horrid. All they talk about is Nero or Caesar, like Caesar was pretty much out of the picture. Well, he was there, but there wasn't much spoken too directly about Caesar in these texts. Here, we might have a better one. And then we haven't even touched on. Oh, no, we haven't even touched on. We're just talking about John of Gishala so far. Okay. What we really need to touch on is the war in heaven. Soldiers in the clouds above Jerusalem. And they were referred to as soldiers as well in Josephus, I'm sure. How I remember reading it. I'm actually going to get the book today. Yay. I don't like reading other people's interpretations of what they want us to know. However, I think this is the one I clicked into this morning, and it did tell you it. Now this is good. This is actually in Maccabees, guys. It's not even Josephus, and we know Maccabees was taken out. So, for nearly 40 days, people all over Jerusalem saw visions of cavalry troops in gold armor charging across the sky. The riders were armed with spears and their swords were drawn. They were lined up in battle against one another, attacking and counterattacking. Shields were clashing. There was a rain of spears and arrows flew through the air. All the different kinds of armor and the gold bridles on the horses flashed in the sunlight. And then Josephus, that was Maccabees, before sunsetting, chariots of troops of soldiers in their armor seen running about on the clouds and the surrounding of cities. Okay, so it's not only Josephus's account. Now, it is somewhere else as well. I would really like to find the one that I had this morning. Yeah, I've seen this one before. See, and so you've got in Matthew 24:31, and he, the Son of Man, will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds and from one end of the heavens to the other. First century AD historians Josephus and Tacitus, how do you want to say it? Both document the appearance of what can only be described as armies of angels in the skies above Jerusalem in the spring of 68 AD. 66 AD. Sorry, Nero was still alive, but yeah, he was not the one in the temple. That's right. That's what it was. Okay, cool. Before sunsetting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armor were seen running about among the clouds and surrounding the cities. That's Jewish wars. Then we've got, this is Tacitus, there had been seen hosts joining battle in the skies, the fiery gleam of arms, the temple illuminated by a sudden radiance from the clouds. And then we have the one I just read from Maccabees. And Elisha prayed, "Open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see." Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked and saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. Oh, well, they threw that one in there for good luck, didn't they? It's sort of, yeah, I get it. But, all right, so, have I still got anybody here with me? Okay. So, I am looking for just a smaller guys channel. It's always the smaller people that do the most amazing work for me, that I find, that I just get led to. Um, and I think they're really trying to hide everything, but they knew with the technology that it's going to, the lid would be blown off all this. They knew it would happen sooner or later. And they knew when that end bit, it would really go fast, because there are people, I think there are more people that are realising this than not. I hope. I know this doesn't, the lukewarm Christian, this is for the thinkers. This is for people who, see, I wasn't raised in church. So I was like, wow, I was free. I was like easy pickings for anybody to get. So I'm glad the Father got me in 1995 first, because he just took me straight to his book. And even though I was in Pentecostal church, I just knew it was all wrong. But what I'm saying is, let me have a look. Just bear with me. Let me get some more. I should have put my coconut milk back in the fridge. Coconut water. What am I doing? It's quite warm here. It's actually quite nice here today. It's not too bad. It's been warmer. All right, so let's just go through this then for a second. In Mark 14, 61, 62, and John 21, 22, 23, Jesus declares that the high priest Caiaphas and the apostle John will live to see his second coming. Well, he did. This is why, how did we miss this? How did we let them pull the wool over our eyes? And see, so this is only for thinking people. If you're going to be stuck in a mindset because you really want the rapture the way you envisioned it, or you want this the way you envisioned it, you've got to realize, did anything in your life really work out the way you envisioned it? Anything? Yes, there are parts that we could steer in our lives, but they were only for so long, weren't they? So the answer is no. And so we have been led to believe things, and because we had good spirits, we trusted the people that told us these things. And that should not make you upset. It makes you a victim. You are actually a victim of a crime. And it's not a boo-hoo, pity me. No. It's right. Well, what can I do about this? Well, what I need to do is learn the truth. And the truth will set me free. The truth is, the way that all this was interpreted to us was so absolutely twisted that I can see why their motto is, as above, so below, black is white, dark is light. It's absolutely staring us in the face. And I'm not going to say we're at the end of time, because I don't know. And none of us should be doing that anymore. But we know we're in some very bad situation here. We know the whole world is understanding we're in a bit of trouble. And so it's time to have a new look with fresh eyes at what we've been taught. And now we do, and reading these extra biblical texts, which you could say, oh, well, it's not in the Bible, so I don't want to know about it. Well, friends, the thing about that is that you have to understand that Josephus and Tychicus were working for the enemy. And so why would they want us to know such things? Right? And now when we look at Mark, Jesus declares to that high priest who delivered him over to the Romans for execution that you will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven. You, him. He was he promised to return in his generation. He did. And the problem is that they're starting to call us preterists. This is not preterism. Preterists believe it was just all big airy-fairy spiritual kingdom. We have absolute tangible proof the millennial reign was here. And like I said, we don't know if it was 1,000 years because of translations. I'm going to keep myself open as a person. I'm not going to put myself in a box. And I am not blasphemy. I am not nothing. I have a relationship with my Father that gives me the freedom to explore what is happening in our world and in our Bible and in these extra biblical texts. So, and guys, honestly, you know when something is real when you read it. It's like the book of Enoch. There is only one book of Enoch, the first Enoch, and that is completely, there it is, I found it. Thank you, Father. This is the one. Now, I'll just read this to you. Have I got anybody here still? 20 people. Great. Jenny, hi Jenny. I can't see the chat or anything because I've had to put the phone like this, sort of resting up on something, and I'm just going on good luck here. Okay. I usually StreamYard, but it wouldn't work. So I'm just going to read this to you because this is something that I wanted to start the stream on, and because I had to do it all backwards, I wasn't able to, and now I've found it. Because here is some more information that still hasn't been delivered thus far. And this will spin you out, guys, if you haven't heard this. I know a lot of you might have read this stuff, but I knew about it. It's time to talk about it. It's really time to talk about it. I just didn't want to go off half-cocked. I have been looking into this secret knowledge. No, it's not. It is what it is. I've been looking into this for 5 years. It's not new to me. So I'm not in the newbies camp. I know there are a lot of people jumping on this. Oh my gosh, if you just go on Facebook and look how many channels have started up about the little season, it's frightening because they're running a tangent. They're not even... You have to put this in focus yourself. You have to understand it from the Holy Spirit yourself before it becomes factual. Even though it's factual, I believe. So, like I said, you can take everything I say, and I'm just speaking from my heart. I'm not trying to sway anybody one way or another. This is my walk. This is my journey. And my journey's been very long, very exhaustive. And so this is not new to me. This is 5 years ago. I said to my partner in crime back then, not crime, it seems now it was, in a way. But I said to him, I just know something's going on here. This is all, wow, if this is the big delusion, is the grand delusion so much not the enclosed system anymore? Because this becomes paramount. Think about it. Now I'm going to read this. Stop rambling on like a bloomering lunatic. Now, listen, this gives you more information and I've already read out of just those little bits before. Thus, there was a star resembling a sword. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Thus there was a star resembling a sword which stood over the city, and a comet that continued a whole year. Thus, before the Jews' rebellion and before those commotions which preceded the war, when the people were come in great crowds to the feast of unleavened bread, on the 8th day of the month of Xanthus, and in the 9th hour of the night, so such a great light shone around the altar and the holy house that it appeared to be bright daytime, which lasted for half an hour. This light seemed to be a good sign to the unskillful, but was so interpreted by the sacred scribes as to portend those events that followed immediately upon it. At the same festival also, a heifer, a cow, listen to this, as she was led out by the high priest to be sacrificed, brought forth a lamb in the midst of the temple. A heifer brought forth a lamb in the midst of the temple. Moreover, the eastern gate of the inner court of the temple, which was of brass and vastly heavy, and had been with great difficulty shut by 20 men, and rested upon a basis armed with iron, and had bolts fastened very deep into the firm floor, which was made of one entire stone, was seen to be opened of its own accord about the 6th hour of the night. Besides these, a few days after that feast, on the 21st day of the month of Artemisus, a certain prodigious and incredible phenomenon appeared. I suppose the account of it would seem to be a fable, were it not related by those who saw it. And let me go up. I suppose the account of it would seem to be a fable, were it not related by those who saw it, and were not the events that followed of it so considerable a nature as to deserve such signals. For before the sun setting, chariots and troops of soldiers in their armour were seen running about among the clouds and surrounding the cities. Moreover, at that feast which we call Pentecost, as the priests were going by night in the inner court of the temple, as was their custom, to perform their sacred ministrations, they said that, in the first place, they felt a quaking and heard a great noise, and after that they heard a sound of a great multitude saying, "Let us remove hence." That was the resurrection. Prodigies had occurred with this nation prone to superstition, but what? Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Prodigies had occurred which this nation prone to superstition. I can't stand looking at you, Larry Edmund. There had been sacrifice. There had been seen hosts joining battle in the skies. Good. The fiery gleam of arms, the temple illuminated by a sudden radiance from the clouds. The doors of the inner shrine were suddenly thrown open, and a voice of the more than mortal tone was heard to cry, than that gods were departing. At the same instant there was a mighty stir as of departure. Some few put a fearful meaning on those events, but in most there was a firm persuasion that in the ancient records of the priests was contained a prediction of how at that very time the East was to grow powerful, and rulers coming from Judea were to acquire universal empire. These mysteries, prophecies, pointed to Vespasian and Titus, but the common people, with the usual blindness of ambition, had interpreted these mighty destinies of themselves and could not be brought even by disasters to believe the truth. Wow, because I read something and they reckon it was Halley's Comet, that it was there for a year. Here we go. According to Comet by Carl Sagan, Halley's Comet passed by in AD 66. January 26. That was when it, on January 26 was when it must have done its complete duration. The duration of a year is impossible, but there may have been more than one comet that year. Okay, so they're not sure either. Separated by weeks or months, which were misinterpreted as the same one reappearing. Aha, but do you remember the green comet that appeared in 2022, then it came back in 2023, and they called it something else? And I thought that way back then when it appeared the second time. I went, I bet you that's the same comet. And I didn't even know about this stuff. And that's what this article's saying. They're saying, well, could have been, but, it could have been the same comet. But they also say that people did not want to believe the truth and could not be bought even by the disasters to believe the truth. This is how sad our world is. They don't want to see anything. And, it's hard to break away from things we've been taught, but we're really stupid if we don't. It really, honestly, who's this? Let's just look while we're here.
How does Helen?
I know you won't hear this because, oh, you might. No, it's coming through headphones. I just want to see the visual
A
anyway.
heavenly army appeared in the skies over Israel,
Yeah,
bringing
a
a
heavenly
message of
army
hope and strength to the nation, which was besieged by its Arab neighbors.
Bible mysteries
This
unveiled, hey?
manifestation has been meticulously documented and has
YouTube
resonated
wants
across
to show
borders,
notifications.
becoming an
Oh,
internationally
goodbye.
recognized narrative. It is with humility and zeal that I
They share this story.
with you.
If this is news to you, I suggest you continue reading with an open heart, as every detail of this account is laden with significance.
But
Before we delve into it, I encourage you to support our mission. Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. You can do that. Maybe you shouldn't, but can I go a bit? I want to see what they've got to say about it, because a lot of people are saying stuff that you just go, you got it right there, but oh boy, now you're just reaching for stuff. So we still have to be careful. We have to be very more than ever careful what we're believing with this, everybody going on this, what they want to call a new tangent, which is an old tangent to me. Nah, this is something else. I'm not even going to waste my time with that one. We don't do time wasting. So I'm just trying to show you guys in real time, seeing we're doing it this way. I don't ever usually do it this way. But seeing you here, this is fun. It's a good thing to do. I was going to keep it really short. And just to show you that we need to read that with different eyes. And also it shows you that Revelation is not in a chronological order. It's very important to be able to digest that now. We cannot read the book of Revelation like we were told. We must stop to get the truth. I can tell you that is, oh boy, that is really full on. I'm being told to tell you that really full on. It is not in chronological order. So you see, we must need to know certain things for it to make sense. And I think we're nearly at the end of the line, guys. If they really say, oh, guess what, we did find land at the north, we're going to go, that's it, the last piece of the puzzle. We're just waiting. We're just waiting. Well, we're waiting for them to go and make war with the camp of the saints now. And that's all we have to wait for. You don't have to wait for the mark of the beast. And those who think they already took it, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But we didn't take it. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay? So there's some things that are just not going to come to pass. That's how I believe it to be so. I believe there is so much fear. And the rapture people, that is how they deal with their fear, because they're going to get raptured. And it deals with their fear. It takes it away totally. Now, we could be here. God could actually cleanse the earth with us on it. Like, why not? We are sinful in that. And he said he'll put us through the fire, and it's our works of the Spirit that will remain, remember? Think about that, just in case. I'm just giving you all avenues because I've got my big girl pants on. I'm not scared. I have really thought about all this stuff, and I think it's something we all need to consider. We've got to stop having this airy-fairy... Oh, shit, Jazzy, I'm so sorry, Jazzy. Shit, that would hurt. Did I get your little foot? I'm so sorry. Oh, Jazzy, shit. Sorry for saying shit. It's the only word we really say around here a lot in Australia. No. What was I saying? Oh, Jazzy, I'm so sorry. It takes me to something that happened to me a week and a half ago that I still can't talk about. I cannot talk about what happened. I cannot talk about what happened a week and a half ago yet. And if I think about it, I'll cry. So, okay. Moving right along. It's just amazing that now that we can see this, we can make, concise decisions on how we view the things that they told us. The things they told us about the rapture, and that you've got to think this came from the Luciferians themselves. Kenneth Copeland's telling you Jesus is coming back. Does that send alarm bells out? Really, guys? Does it? It should. It really should make us worry when Kenneth Copeland, Joyce Meyer, the ones who own the most amazing properties in America, they're all telling you something. And they have not changed their tune all these years. And I knew they'd be able to use Jesus' name. They can. Because they're not being punished right here and now. They're not. So that's why people say, oh, they can't be wolves, a lot of these people, because they actually preach Jesus' name. They talk about the Holy Spirit and all that. And it just shows you that people are very gullible. How very, very gullible. Dustin. Hello, Dustin Barr. Dustin just sent me a message. Do you guys know Dustin Barr? You should. He's a friend of mine now, I hope. Dustin Barr is very well educated on what I'm actually talking about right now. And I'm learning, guys. I'm learning to put this all together to present it to you guys. Like I said, Father's already presented this to me a long time ago. But to also have other people like Understanding Conspiracy Channel, Alpha Talks, JT loves JC. Oh, I love his channel. He's so good. I really like that guy. JT loves JC. They are all great channels. And, you know, we're all trying. We're all trying to put this together. And, you know, even your own brother and sister you might dearly love, maybe they'll have a little bit of a different idea than you. But it's still, the story is going to be the story. Whether we like it or not, there is a real story that you can't change. And the fact is, we've just got to find the path to finding that story. We know we have to rely, a lot of this is in our hearts, okay? It so truly is. A lot of this is people who are waking up to this, they've been getting it in their hearts from on high. Why has this gone to... I don't want to know about the monsters. I know I don't even know what's going on over there. I don't. And I know it's bad, that I probably should. However, I know what's going on over there. I know who's behind it. So I just thought I'd bring you that. The siege of, let's see what Wikipedia says, shall we? The siege of Jerusalem, 70 CE, as they now call it. What's CE stand for anyway? I forgot. Was the decisive event for the First Jewish-Roman War, in which the Roman army, led by Titus, besieged Jerusalem. And oh ho, boo-hoo, they fell. The poor things, they got taken over when they were told, stop doing what you're doing or leave. Unbelievable. And as the story goes, the rest is history. So it's just an amazing journey, this. And then when you get into looking at the Aurora Borealis and, you know, all the stuff surrounding this, the mysteries start becoming, they fall together. If you know there's a dome and you know there's northern lights, and that's probably coming from the throne of God himself or his garment or both, and the saints and everybody, or maybe that's just Father up there and the saints and Jesus himself is in the center on the earth, but could be on a floating city. There is so much to digest here. We really have to do more reading, looking at your Bible with new eyes, going back, looking at what Jesus said. Look at what Jesus said. Look when he said he'd be back. And so what would be the biggest deception in history? What would be the strong delusion? That it hasn't happened yet. and that this is not a war, that all these countries getting together now under NATO, under, all their banners, that they're not going to go up, that you don't think they're joining up? Yeah, they are. You think Russia's bombing UK? No, 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 he's not. They're doing it together. They're getting ready to go up across the wide expanse of the north. Funny how this floating magnetic north is headed towards Siberia, which is the biggest floating expanse in the world. And it is the biggest deception ever, Tim. Absolutely. Current era. Thanks, Ed. Right, I knew, I just forgot. Yeah, current era. It's absolutely stupid. Why couldn't they leave it AD? Just like everything else, they've got to change it. I wonder if I can pull my files up in my Tartarian research. But see, it's not Tartarian to me. Well, it is, because it's not, all the buildings were not created by the saints and the angels. A lot were created by the fallen angels. So we have a total distinction with Tartaria there too now. It's great. So Tartaria, or it's a millennial reign buildings. Okay? So that's how I see it. That's just not okay. Like, that's it. I mean, that's how I'm digesting all this stuff and putting it together. But like I said, I've been doing it for such a long time. This is not new. Yeah, I lived alone for about 5 years after my first husband died. Oh, so sorry, hon. But I'm getting used to living with others again. It can be a little stressful at times, but it's worth it. Yeah, I'm just getting used to living with just my husband after living with people my whole life. My husband and I have never had time alone. So we're actually, yeah, it's okay. It's quiet. I can get things done. I can learn, I'm doing guitar, piano. I'm trying to do like several things at once. The bushwalking. New image from Jenny. I can't look at it yet, Jenny. But what am I doing? I'm trying to do something here, guys. It's just having so much trouble. Oh, that's right. We'll use her account because that worked, didn't it? Oh, no, I was going to go into the files and all that, but this computer's just silly. Castles. Castles in the sky. Oh, look at this one. Where is it? Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like this one. Open, please. Is that kind of what could have been built in our hills, and that's the bits and pieces just scattered, like blown up? Who likes tacos? I really love tacos. Oh, you're making me hungry. I've got homemade pesto. When I get off, I'm going to have spaghetti and pesto, which is so garlic hot. Okay, so you saw that one. Let's go from bottom. These are just some I've been done lately. I mean, that's a lovely one. Now, some of these I remember where they are, and some I do not. Oh, this is Germany. Oh, yeah, like, look at this. Hello, everybody. Now I'm stopping talking, so, straight, aren't I? I'm getting a bit silly. But look, if this doesn't excite you, you need a BOMB under your bum. Make spaghetti and meat tacos. I could. I've got taco shells. I absolutely do. And what is Taco Tuesday and what is Super Tuesday? I'm an Australian. We do not know what Super Blinking Stupid Tuesday is. What is it? What is it? Is it something to do with the elections? Now look at this one for melting. Look. Look. The melting. Have I only got 2 people in here? Really? Where did everybody go? This said I had 20. Oh, it is 20. The O's dropped underneath. That's ridiculous. Okay, now. Spain. So, yes, do it. Okay. I like Frioli tacos then. Never heard of Super Tuesday? Yeah, Taco Tuesday. I'm not sure why either. Isn't it something Taco Bell did or something? Maybe. Maybe. So this one, yes, look at this magnificence. Now, you've got to take into account too, guys, these places more than not had no plumbing, no sewerage, no kitchens. See, that's a spooky one. Yeah, but it might not have been. It might have been gleaming. You see, we've got to think that when these places were abandoned, what powered them? Was it the energy of the saints themselves that powered these places? That they weren't taking it from the ether, that they were the power sources themselves, and they were all given a kingdom? 144,000 of them, maybe? Just saying. Let's keep going. Just for a little bit. Oh, like, guys, is that just amazing? And they're always way bigger in real life. Photos never do justice to anything. Okay, come on. Any explanations for that? Oh, well, that was built in 1800. Oh, we can do it again, darling. It's all right. We'll do it. We will. I know. I just got going. I told you I was so hypo about it. So I couldn't figure out StreamYard, or we would be. It's not figure it out. It won't let me in. Super Tuesdays when the fools go out and vote for the demon and to lead them, and I voted an idiot. No, exact same 3 out of 4 sofas. Can I ask you guys something? In Australia here, we can choose not to vote, but we get a fine. And I don't want to participate in their little satanic shit show at all, okay? So I don't want to vote. And the voting things come in the mail. And somebody I live with said to me, oh, you've got to vote. You've got to vote this time. I went, okay. Because I didn't want to start any problems. Because last time I didn't vote, and I didn't get a fine for the referendum. I didn't get a fine. Because I did it under Father. I said, Father, I am not entering into their games. I just cannot do it. And so, he's going to force me into going down there. I'm going to go up to the counter and go, hey, listen, just be quiet. Just pretend you marked my name off. I don't care if I get a fine. Because I don't even want to put in a blank vote. It's just ridiculous. And then even going there to partake in it, you know, it's just to keep somebody quiet. And Jesus told us to keep the peace and all that. So that's cool, I suppose. This one, do you think a lot of the rubble in our forests, Jenny, could even be things such as this? Even in our little forest here, okay? Look at this. Who, if everything was so horrible and the world was like it is now, just yuck, building ridiculous things, who would go to such lengths to build such beauty if we've always been in war? If we did never have peace. Hi, Yars Will Soaring. I was watching you playing guitar yesterday. Matey? Yes, I was. Look at it. That's built in a time of peace. Not war that we've told has just been bloody war after war after war after war. Your whole freaking existence has been a war. Yeah, right. And there's the other thing, we can do work like this now. The Renaissance period. Art. Armistice. They have to hijack everything. And who did make these beautiful pictures? These beautiful sculptures, these beautiful buildings. Secret Diary of Admiral Byrd. That's right, I couldn't get it. That's all right. We'll get it another place, won't we? Postal votes. I don't even want to play the game, Jenny. That's not the point for me, you know that. I'm very, I stick by it. If I say I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. But I don't want to cause trouble as in the same instance, I know. Oh, look at that. You know, it's amazing that we even didn't question this. That shows you how much. I know that I question things at school, I know, and I used to get in trouble because that's a troublemaker. The first sign of a troublemaker is somebody who starts asking questions. Already seen them. But this is my favourite. That's my favourite. I mean, what the heck? Yeah, the reign of the saints. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I heard somebody say that a few weeks back and I went, oh, perfect. Yes, Renaissance, reign of the saints. Absolutely. I do believe. And music, all the vibrations of music that were changed, like if we could heal ourselves or help heal ourselves with music. You know, Jesus gave real physical things to heal us. He just didn't walk up with a magic wand like they make you want to believe on these stupid movies or wave his hand and go, you're healed now. Of course he can do that. But he wanted us to also have these things available to us to be well after he left. Yes, after he left. I mean that people can do both. I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah, you too. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Good. Well, I'll just come up to your place that day and we can get in trouble together. He can be cranky at both of us. I don't know. Help me. You know? All right. Well, look, guys, I'm gonna finish this. Jenny, I'll give you a call, but I'm gonna finish this. Because I could just go on and we've been going an hour 17. But I'll just end by saying, for all of you that are listening, and there's a few of you being quiet in the background, thank you very much for putting up with me. And Jazzy, thanks you too. So have a really good rest of your day, and we will catch up soon. But I do want you to consider what I'm saying, because I know it's not for all the people who watch me, but it's not that it's not for you. If you've got, you know, these doors in your heart you still got shut, you need to open them, and you need, so you can walk through out of that trap. It's like getting the trap off your leg, but you've got both hands available to do it. So do it while you can, because the rapture things and all that and all those things, I can see where that leads, and I can see what they're doing, and if they're doing one thing, we need to be looking at something else, right? That's the key, I think, here. All right, well, love you all. I'll talk to you very shortly, everybody. As per usual, I've got to figure out how to turn this stream off. Okay, this is Beck. I think I've got it. Let me know your comments. If you've listened to this after the fact that it was live, just let me know. And if you would like to come on a live stream sometime with Jenny and I, let us know. All right? Feel the vibrations. That's right. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Ed. Oh, thank you, Awake, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny Murphy. Thanks, Yazwell, mate. Thank you to everybody who hasn't commented. Lacey, if you're still there, thanks, honey. And we will catch up with you all very shortly.